Welcome back, dear friends, to Healing with Carnivore, a series dedicated to showcasing inspiring stories of individuals who have overcome health challenges and reclaim their lives through the carnivore diet. These are real-life journeys of hope and resilience, demonstrating the power of dietary change. We've curated a collection of experiences shared publicly online, added a touch of narrative flair, and given our storytellers fictional names. Prepare to be amazed by the strength and determination of these individuals as they share their transformative journeys with the carnivore lifestyle. If you're enjoying these inspiring stories, subscribe and join our carnivore community for daily doses of healing and hope. Here's episode 26.
Bradley's story, A Heart Reforged. The Florida sun beat down on Bradley, baking the back of his neck as he struggled to heave another cinder block. Sweat stung his eyes, and his shirt, already damp, clung to his thickening frame. At 40, he felt every one of those years in the ache of his muscles, the stiffness in his joints. The construction site, a symphony of clanging metal and shouted commands, faded to a dull roar as he focused on the task at hand, each breath a shallow gasp in the humid air. It wasn't just the Florida heat that made him breathless. It was the constant, frantic thrumming in his chest, a hummingbird trapped beneath his ribs, a relentless reminder of the atrial fibrillation that had become his unwelcome companion. The other workers, younger, leaner, seemed to move with an effortless grace that Bradley envied. He used to have that easy strength back in his military days, back before the weight settled on him like a shroud, back before his heart decided to dance its own erratic jig. He hadn't always felt this way. There was a time when his heart beat a steady, reassuring rhythm, a time before the fatigue and the shortness of breath. Back then, he'd tried everything to shed the extra pounds creeping onto his frame. Low calorie, low carb, low fat, the whole gamut of modern dietary advice. He'd lost weight, sure, but it was a joyless, unsustainable grind. The weight always returned, and with it a new, unwelcome guest. AFib. The irregular heartbeat started subtly, a flutter here, a skipped beat there, but it worsened over time, casting a long shadow over his life. Doctors offered medications, but Bradley, a man of action, sought a solution, not a Band-Aid. He delved into the world of keto, then stumbled upon the carnivore diet, a radical approach that resonated with his pragmatic nature. The first bite of steak, unadorned, primal, felt like a homecoming. He stripped away the processed, the sugary, the starchy, and embraced the simplicity of meat and water. He ate until he was completely full and satiated. The pounds melted away, not with the agonizing crawl of calorie restriction, but with a steady, effortless decline. He was down to 190, a far cry from his peak of 245, and aiming for a lean 175. The carnivore diet wasn't just about weight loss. It was a complete transformation. The persistent ache in his joints, a souvenir from years of strenuous service, faded. The inflammation that had plagued him, leaving his hands stiff and swollen, subsided. Even his mood lifted, the fog of fatigue replaced by a clear, focused energy. His son, witnessing his father's metamorphosis, decided to give Carnivore a try. The results were startling. The acne that had plagued his teenage years vanished, replaced by clear, healthy skin. His energy levels soared, and he moved with a newfound vitality. Bradley's family, initially skeptical, watched in stunned silence as he shed pounds and regained his health. His wife, though not a convert to the carnivore lifestyle, began to understand the profound impact it had on her husband. She saw the spark return to his eyes, the ease with which he moved, the joy he rediscovered in simple activities. In his home gym, surrounded by the tools of self-improvement, Bradley pushed his body, no longer hindered by aching joints. He felt the raw power of his muscles, the strength that flowed from a body fueled by nature's purest fuel. The temptation to stray, to indulge in the siren song of pizza and ice cream, was ever present. But Bradley held firm, knowing the carnivore diet wasn't a temporary fix, but a commitment to a healthier, more vibrant life. Friends and colleagues marveled at his transformation, peppering him with questions. He answered them honestly, explaining his dietary choices, the science behind carnivore, and the profound impact it had on his life. Recent blood work confirmed what Bradley already knew. His LDL cholesterol, often demonized as the bad cholesterol, was elevated, but his HDL, the good cholesterol, was through the roof. His triglycerides were a mere whisper, and his total cholesterol, a number often misconstrued as a harbinger of doom, was a testament to the unique way his body thrived on a meat-centric diet. He knew with a quiet confidence that if his weight loss continued, he could reduce or even eliminate the medications for his AFib and blood pressure. He wasn't blindly following dogma. He was listening to his body, trusting his instincts, and reaping the rewards. Living with a family that did not share his dietary choices presented its own unique set of challenges. The aroma of pasta sauce simmering on the stove, the sight of his children enjoying a bowl of ice cream, these were tests of his resolve. But Bradley had learned to navigate these temptations, to focus on his own journey, and to respect the choices of others. His advice to those embarking on the carnivore path was simple. Focus on the why. Remember the reasons you chose this path. Visualize the healthier, happier you waiting on the other side, and don't be afraid to ask for support. This is a journey best traveled with others who understand.
And there you have it. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the Florida sky in hues of orange and violet, Bradley stood on his porch, the cool evening air a welcome balm on his skin. The symphony of the construction site had faded, replaced by the gentle chirping of crickets and the distant rumble of traffic. He looked out over the familiar landscape, a sense of peace settling over him, as profound as the silence that had descended upon his own body. The hummingbird, that frantic flutter that had haunted him for so long, had finally stilled. In its place, a strong, steady beat, a primal rhythm as old as time itself, pulsed in his chest. He was a man remade, forged in the crucible of self-belief, and fueled by the simple power of meat. The journey had been arduous, the temptations ever present, but he had emerged victorious, his health reclaimed, his spirit renewed. The setting sun, a fiery orb sinking into the earth, seemed to mirror his own transformation, a descent into darkness followed by a glorious rebirth. He breathed deeply, the air filling his lungs with a newfound ease, and smiled. He was living proof that sometimes the most ancient paths lead to the most profound healing. Thank you for joining me on Healing with Carnivore. May these stories ignite a spark of hope within you, and may you discover the path to healing and happiness that's right for you. And always remember, the power to change your life lies within you and the lifestyle choices you make. Until next time, friends.